Welcome, one and all, to Podcast Beyond. Sorry.
Did we just start?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 446. I'm Max Scoville. Joining me, Alana Pierce.
Greets.
Yes. Martin Silverman.
Yeah, that's
Marty Sleva.
The only thing you missed from being in Greece was that we now say greets.
I know, we're on a text thread together. I know what we say.
Greets.
And currently late,
Greets.
very late, and thus will be suffering the wrath of the battle axe is Andrew Goldenfarman.
Yeah, he's doing a hot E3 meeting.
There's nothing hot
He's
about
very
E3.
important.
Yeah,
E3 is actually
LA
cold.
is pretty hot.
Yeah,
No,
and
E3,
like those
that
rooms.
convention center is pumped full of cold air.
That's not true.
You get
dude.
shivers.
No, it's definitely very warm in there.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
No, it
I've been to
is.
so many E3s, and I can say on average the temperature is very, very cold.
It's gonna
colder
be,
than the
You're
Antarctic.
going to be sweating under those hot
refrigerators.
lights.
Yep.
Yeah, talking
With
all
hot
sorts
legs
of
or lights?
leg
Both?
lights.
Okay.
Either?
Anybody?
You've been playing
anyway,
Overwatch.
yeah. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the radio program. Yeah, I was in Greece for a week. I guess it was a vacation. It was really fun. It was cool. That country is basically Just Cause 3 without the bungee cords.
Yeah.
I had this wonderful moment where we were driving through Crete. And you know all those things in Just Cause that you blow up that are like big candy cane looking propane
Everything?
tanks?
Yeah.
Right. And then those big like stupid like Epcot Center golf ball radio tower antenna
Yeah.
things. I thought those were really like kind of convoluted when I was playing that game. They totally have those there.
What
They're
do they,
totally
what
a
do they
thing.
do?
I don't know.
concept?
Maybe people see them from their helicopters and they're like, oh, there's a big golf ball. Let's go play golf. I don't know.
I think a series of small men live inside them.
Probably.
Probably.
A
But
series.
I actually love that when you go to a place and you feel like you've been there before because of a video game.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
first time I was in LA, it
Yep,
was so
GTA.
strange. I was like,
From GTA.
oh, GTA. And then what's the pier called?
Santa Monica.
Is that the name
Venice?
of the pier? Yeah, I mean,
Venice Pier, yeah.
The Venice Pier, yeah.
Santa Monica Pier,
walking up that, I was like, man, I've done some stuff here in Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
I ground on
Yeah.
that weird roller coaster. It's so
Yeah.
strange that I was like fond of these places because I'd seen them in GTA.
Yeah, we also rented ATVs and tore around on there, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in Far Cry," but I
so
probably shouldn't do
strange.
murder right now.
No.
Shouldn't do a murder.
Yeah, it was really cool. So that was fun. It also makes me realize I was in Germany as well, and I was kind of I was in, I guess, East Germany, kind of near Berlin, so it was kind of near Poland, and I noticed that the trees look a whole lot like the
Like
trees in The Witcher.
Witcher?
Yeah.
There were some little houses that looked like very witchery little houses, and I was like, I wonder if there's a manticore, a witch woman to fight
Manticore?
here. I didn't see any griffins or zephyrlings or whatever the hell you fight in that game.
What's the
Probably
difference
went
between
there long
a griffin and a manticore?
A manticore is lion.
manticore?
It is lion, crab, eagle, or snake maybe. And
That
a griffin,
sounds inefficient.
A griffin is eagle, lion, horse.
Yeah, that sounds right.
What genitalia do those creatures have?
You got to look and
They have
find out.
Dax.
They just have
They got
thick-
weird,
Dax.
weird,
Yeah.
weird Dax?
large
Yeah.
ropey ones.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The Dak pod is the snake.
before we get into things, I would like to apologize. When we talked about Uncharted, I said a thing that was a spoiler. A lot of people wrote in about that and called me out on it, and I just really want to apologize because I did not mean to do that, and that is kind of a hazard of doing what
Well,
we do.
and it was something that the three of us even glossed over too.
Yeah.
Which it was
so yeah,
just-
that's on you. It's on you.
Yeah,
It was
it's my
mostly
fault.
Alana's fault.
Yeah.
But
Checks
real
and
talk,
balances.
I read the comments on that episode, and by virtue of that, also had your spoiler spoiled for me before I had finished Uncharted.
Yeah. I don't know how it took you so long to finish Uncharted. I don't know.
Well,
what
I
you, I don't know
finished
what
it.
you do in your room. You know, it's locked
Overwatch.
away. Weirdo. Yeah, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I felt really bad about that because I didn't mean to do that. But
We know
we
you
talk
didn't.
about a lot of stuff, and it can be like. I think we're past the statute of limitations for Harry Potter spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in high school at one point, I was in like homeroom, and this girl next to me was reading not Deathly Hallows, the
Half-Blood
Order
Prince?
of the Phoenix, the fifth one, and she's sitting there, and she's reading it, and this was like a year and a half after it came out, and like there's that period when a Harry Potter book came out, and everyone would be reading it, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, are you rereading that? She's like, no, I'm reading it for the first time, and I'm like, oh, really? Oh man, you are gonna love that ending. And she's like, don't spoil anything. Like, no, you were gonna really love that. I am dead serious. And then I was like, oh, I didn't mean to say that. Luckily, she was very stupid, so she did not catch
Alana
that.
spoiled The Force Awakens for me the morning before I saw
Oh,
it.
I did. That
The
was
Force wakes up.
terrible.
And then you tried to backpedal.
I did successfully, I think.
I don't think so.
I think I
You
really
tried
did.
too hard.
Anyway, so as Alana has very subtly mentioned, Overwatch. Overwatch is out, and
Overwatch
people
is out.
are playing this fun game about a bunch of friends who
hell are people talking about this?
I love it.
Like,
I love it.
literally everyone in this office is playing it. And by literally, I mean figuratively, because I bought it, but I haven't played it.
Classic Marty.
As vintage Marty.
I had one of those things where I would like go on Reddit and there'd be like webcomics or there'd be memes and stuff, and I don't get them, and people are tweeting stuff and I don't get it, and I'm like, oh man, I need to catch up. Like,
It's
I
like,
feel
it's
very
like
much out of the loop.
a gamer culture thing currently
Yeah.
is playing Overwatch, and I feel like if I weren't super into it, I would feel like I was missing out.
Yeah.
So it's a hero shooter.
Yeah.
It's a lot like Team Fortress 2, except it's Blizzard's take on that, which means the animation style, I think it might have been you, or maybe it was old Mitchie D.
Rip.
Mitch Dyer. Likened it to being like an adult Skylanders in the way that it's animated. And it actually kind of is. It's all very blocky, and I mean, it doesn't look great, but the maps have a lot of verticality, and the characters are freaking awesome. Totally different play styles. I don't even know how many of them there are. There's
I think it's 20-something,
4 sets of 4, maybe more than that. But basically, you have like various different classes, and it tells you when you pick a character on your team. If you don't have a sniper or if you don't have a support, it'll kind of tell you where you
noticed
need to
that.
even your team out, which is really cool.
But you don't have to even, because
No, you can play with
how
the
much
same- the
how much
same
time have you put
character.
into it?
A lot.
A lot. What's that mean?
I don't want to know.
Okay. Can you ballpark it? Like,
I mean, yesterday I played from 4 till 11, and that was just one day.
okay, so that's a lot. Yeah. I played for about 10 minutes. I jumped in.
Thoughts?
I played like a match. I really like it. I'm curious to check out more. I totally looked at this being like, will I hate this? Will I like this? I don't know. I'm for the first time since I want to say Warcraft 2. I really like how a Blizzard game looks.
Yeah.
I think that frequently I mean, I guess Diablo is cool, but I hate the way World of Warcraft looks. I think that StarCraft looks cool in cinematics, but as far as gameplay looks, it looks like a bunch of candy rolling around. Like It's a bunch of way too colorful things given the subject matter. And I think there's what is it, Grimdark? Is that what people call it, or is it some? Is that
that style.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That, like,
I mean,
style of,
I
like-
really like it, but I understand how you.
Yeah,
wouldn't.
I liked it. I think it's
Overwatch looks different. To a
yeah.
Blizzard game.
Overwatch looks like Overstrike, the game that turned
that-
into
Fuse, yeah.
which was something I was really looking forward
It
to. and
really
then-
does actually. That's a really
and
good point.
I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's funny we're calling this a hero shooter. I feel like, I mean, obviously that kind of comes from that, like, initially that was like, oh, what if a MOBA was a shooter, you know?
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
term, surrounded Battleborn and that other one or whatever. But like this idea of taking kind of MOBA-like gameplay and applying it to a shooter approach.
I mean, it gives you like a relationship with the character you're playing.
Yeah, I think it's odd though because it doesn't.
I mean, MOBAs do too, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I don't feel like it's a MOBA because it doesn't have that. I think it's partly to do with the view. Obviously,
Yeah.
this is first person, and that makes a huge difference. And partly to do with just like the way that a MOBA works to me is you have coins and you have things that you need to take out, and you have lanes.
Yeah.
But I guess that's
yeah.
not set in
I
stone.
think the MOBA comparison was just based on the fact that each character has this
Different
very
abilities and-
innate set of abilities and skills, and when you're playing as this character, you almost have to role play as. Like you can't. It's not like Call of Duty where you can just get a loadout and be like, "Well, I'm gonna do
Right.
whatever I want."
You
Like you have
absolutely
to play, as this
every
character.
different character.
What I was going to
differently.
say is it feels like a fighting game. It feels more like a fighter than
Yeah.
I was expecting. I guess something like I don't know, Paragon or just sort of like this. I was expecting something more. I guess not RPG-ish. That's the wrong thing, but more like RTS. Like
Yeah, sure,
like more
yeah.
a little bit more grindy.
Yeah.
It's super.
Not at all.
It's super goofy and fun, and I
Yeah.
really like it. And I mean,
I love the catchphrases.
I've played. I jumped in. I was switching as many characters as I could, and
Yeah.
completely having no idea what I was doing, and kind of getting a feel for it. And
Yeah, you kind of can't play it that way.
they're really charming. Like
Yeah.
they're really.
Yeah.
I like that they do have this wide array of it. They feel kind of like Pokemon,
A little, yeah.
you got this like Grim Reaper asshole who's just like I'm the Death Incarnate, and then there's like a gorilla.
Yeah.
And then there's
Yeah.
Junkrat, who's the token Australian.
Yeah.
He's like this weird guy whose hair's like a little bit on fire, and like his catchphrases are the best. And I love that like if you're running around as any character, I'm mostly playing Farah, who is like kind of serious. Her main catchphrase is "Justice reigns from above." But
she's
then like
she's the hover pharaoh, pretty much.
yeah,
Like a robot Egyptian woman.
yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is a weird thing.
She was the last one I played. That is a fun character to play
She
as.
took me a really, really long time to get good at because I was used to playing as characters that were, I guess, like more like the Soldier, or I played a fair bit of Bastion and I played a bunch of McCree. So they're like kind of shooter characters, whereas you have to play Farah in a way that's you just move constantly
Yeah.
and On a controller, you're just like constantly toggling the fly so that she's like moving around just really erratically so no one can target her, and you're trying to aim from above. And it took me a while to figure out that I had to play it like Quake, but when I got that, I was like, oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
But
I played,
playing as her and hearing her catchphrase compared to like having a Junkrat nearby who's like, it's a good day for mayhem, and probably my favorite of his is if at first you don't succeed, blow it up again. Like, it's just really cool hearing other characters just like shouting things in the middle of a battle and knowing what ultimate is being used at what time.
It's so impressive that like the characters are so vastly different in terms of like what they look like and sort of the worlds that they would be pulled from, but they all mesh together in the same way like Nintendo sort of did that with Smash Brothers, where you have all these different characters but sort of like
it's
uniform.
like the Disney Infinity Figures line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All this different stuff that's been like kind of stylized.
Yeah, like Luke Skywalker can stand next to Mickey Mouse, who can stand next to
that
Iron
makes
Man.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've done a really, really good job of that.
That's really cool. I think it's interesting that, you know, it's one thing to have different types of attacks and stuff and the balancing surrounded with that, but to have some characters who can fly, or that that bow and arrow ninja fellow who can climb up walls.
Yeah.
Like, I was totally expecting that to be like a very specific, like certain walls he can walk on, but then I ran straight. He's like, and I was like, oh, I'm up here now. Like, I could totally like snipe people up here. And
I can't imagine how difficult it is to design levels that aren't like, oh, well, this level can, you know, be exploited by this character because of this ability. Like,
I don't think the level design is that great, but I mean, there are certain levels where I will start playing as Farah and then be like, this isn't working. Like, I mean, this isn't going to work because this is enclosed. There's not like a lot of room for me to fly around. This person can put turrets here and here, and I can't combat those very well. So there are certain levels where I will swap out of a certain character. Like,
I mean, it's Blizzard,
which is great that you can do that at pretty much
after every death.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last
like
time Blizzard shipped a game and they were like, yeah, it's done, we're good, next thing. You know, it's like they usually have continuous
almost
support.
games and services.
Yeah. And people are complaining about, you know, certain characters being OP, like Bastion, who whenever I play Bastion, who is basically a cool robot man.
With a bird on him?
With a nice bird on him.
Put a bird on it?
He's got a bird on it. Just a really murderous bird.
Yeah. Okay. All birds are murderous.
Basically, Bastion has multiple forms, 3 forms that there's one where you could literally turn into a stationary turret and you can just kill people just before they even notice you're there. And I tend to get like plus 10 player kill streaks every single time that I play as him. It's very, very easy to do that as Bastion. I don't know if that's catered to me or if it's that character specifically, but like really often gets player of the game. And I think to the extent where they need to kind of level Bastion down.
Which I'm sure they will.
I think they will too.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been complaining about Bastion. I've seen people tweet at Blizzard being like, Bastion's too OP. You need to fix Bastion. But they're just like, have you tried countering with Genji? And you get like tips basically every single time that someone kills you. Or it's probably if they kill you the same way a certain amount of times, and it'll be like, try countering this character by doing this. So they tell you that.
I sort of like that rock, scissors, paper mentality too, of like, well, this character is
rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. What's
Scissors, paper, rock. It's scissors, paper, rock.
It's
rock, scissors, paper.
It's definitely scissors,
rock, paper, scissors.
Well, actually, the website's called, it's RPS, right? So rock, paper, shotgun.
Right, so rock, paper, scissors. See?
Rock, scissors, paper.
I like how we use that
What
website.
is wrong with you?
Anyway, continue?
I don't know
remember
what
you're saying
was.
anymore.
Oh, how it's rock, scissors, paper. how characters, like, they have abilities where it's like, well, like you said, there's the dude who turns into a turret and he's mowing down everything, but if you play as a character who can deflect things like that.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah, everyone has a really good counter, which changes your play style as well. It's just super fun because you have to adapt so much, which isn't that common in shooters. But yeah, also a lot of character. Like you said, they are kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah.
I want action figures of them very badly.
Oh, same.
They need to make action figures.
Jeez, yeah. I mean, if this blows up, like...
I think they will, for sure. And I actually may have seen something where they had already started working on that.
No,
Also,
they ship these statues. Like, they're very
The
kind of
giant
open.
ones, but-
Yeah, they made these giant action figure statues that they're putting out, and I love that they're just like, yeah, this game's about toys, pretty much.
Yeah.
These are toy people.
Yeah.
Also,
Poetic.
I mean, I think this game's going to do incredibly well sales-wise, just
Yeah.
given anecdotally how many people in this office and how many people I follow on Twitter who are playing
I
this.
mean, I don't really like multiplayer games in general. Like, I mean, I played The Division and Rainbow Six Siege a bunch this year, but in general, I get a lot more hooked on on single-player experiences, and at the moment, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to go finish Doom. I'm like, oh, I want to play more Overwatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm super hooked on it.
Man,
what you guys think of that battle board?
That's the other thing I was
What?
going to say is
Sorry,
like,
what's that?
man, I
Yeah.
feel bad.
I feel bad for them too.
For whatever reason, I just never cared about that, and I did care about Overwatch. I guess
Well,
that's marketing.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
difference is that, like, and we've seen this with with Borderlands, like they release endless volleys of like updates of being
Yeah.
like, hey, so we've revealed a new level, we revealed a new character, here's the new, and it's just like, it gets you tired of it. Whereas Blizzard
Probably.
is so much better at that. Like we got 2 copies of Overwatch in the office. I think we had trouble getting beta codes. You know, like they're better at it's that difference between like
less is more.
Ubisoft and Rockstar in terms of like showing stuff off. You know,
That's actually a good point. Like, I wonder if releasing beta codes stops people from buying a game. Because they're like,
Depends on the game.
I got the beta and I didn't like it. Like Fable Legends, I probably wouldn't have bought that after the beta was open for so long. Like,
I mean, it's I think one of Battleborn's problems was that it's just one of those games that was a victim of being announced too early.
Yeah,
and then getting
completely.
delayed.
I mean, that
like
happened
almost
with
a year
Watch
and a half.
Dogs.
Totally, yeah,
yeah.
Whereas with Overwatch, like it was revealed, I think BlizzCon a year or two ago, or Gamescom or something, and they showed a ton of footage, and it was like, oh, this looks awesome.
Yeah.
And then it went radio silent for a little while, and then it was like, all right, there's an alpha. All right, there's a beta. All right, we're good.
Yeah,
it's out now.
They weren't like, here's a great new look at. There's a salute to this character.
Yeah.
It's a dev diary about how we made these turrets or.
I mean, it's
whatever.
kind of like how Disney does trailers.
Yeah.
Like, they just show you a really small amount of
Yeah.
what you want to see, so you want to see more.
Yeah, this is.
That could be why I don't care about Battleborn in the slightest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on the subject, I'm glad Andrew's not here. So on the subject of things that have been taking too long to come out, No Man's Sky is delayed again. Yeah. That's coming out in August 12th or August 10th. And
That's a pretty solid delay.
I hate when they do this. It's coming out in North America on August 9th, in Europe on August 10th, and in UK on August 12th.
Why does it say Europe and then it says UK? That doesn't make sense.
What a stupid... Just
That is
stop
odd.
it.
Yeah.
We all read the same internet.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, that's sort of a bummer. Like, we were all looking forward to getting back from E3 and playing this at the end of June. And
yeah.
then-
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I sent a bunch of death threats over it. So
Oh, that's good.
that was
Yeah.
me. That was me.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
What that helps.
and to Jason Schreier, too. Yeah.
Hello games, more like goodbye games, because
good.
I'm coming to get you.
Oh, no. He's
With
so
my
nice.
axe.
Sean Murray is so nice, though.
Sean Murray, you have delayed the game. I'm angry and upset.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that it's delayed a month and a half, but I'm like, well, like, it's fine. I don't know. Go,
So,
it's summer. Go outside.
I've been trying to
I'm
sort
not
of
surprised.
just... Yeah, it seems like an incredibly massive game.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I've spoken about this before, but I'm worried about No Man's Sky.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
No matter what that game is, it's going to be a letdown.
I mean,
For some people.
it's when it was first announced, I was amazed. I feel like most people probably were. I was like, this is incredible. Technically, still very impressive, but everything we've seen of it since then looks exactly the same. It's like, okay, sure, maybe there's a whole lot of planets,
Yeah.
but if they all look exactly the same, why do I want to explore them?
Also, I don't know if this is correct. Someone's telling me this, but when you visit a planet and you check it out, you can't really go back to it. It becomes like a different planet. Is that?
I don't think that's right.
Okay.
No, I think it's that when you visit a planet, you can name
to
it,
name
and
it if you're
then
the first person.
and then it's the same for everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
But if
okay.
no one's been to a planet, then I think it stays randomly generated,
Okay. I don't know. It's
which is
very
still
confusing.
impressive tech.
Super impressive tech. That's the thing.
I
Is
have
like
that
this
right.
is the most like it's insane how much this game is built on like weird math and science that I don't
Yeah.
understand. I mean, I guess that's every video game if you
Yeah.
boil it down. But just
We don't know how they. We're talking
How do
about
they
them not
make
making them.
these?
incredible. Yeah, I mean, I'm totally fine with the game getting delayed a month and a half for extra polish and everything. But
It's not like we have time to play it anyway.
no, exactly.
It's coming out like
Yeah.
the week before or the week of E3. And then
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah, it was funny. Dan Stapleton, our reviews editor, was literally going to stay home from E3 to review the game. And I was like, well, now you
Now
have to-
what?
now you can stay home and be on home duty? Yeah, that works.
Yay!
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, are you like... We talked before, I think even a week or two ago, about Mighty Number 9, about how each sort of nickel and diming delay got us less and less excited. I mean, you could say the same thing about Battleborn or like Evolve. And I'm a little bit worried that the same thing's going to happen with No Man's Sky. That like, we hit peak excitement long before the game came out.
That's definitely true. I think No Man's Sky is a little bit different in that it's so unique. It's a very unique game.
Yeah.
Whereas Battleborn was immediately competing with a TF2 kind of, which
Yeah.
is something that's been around forever that a lot of gamers are familiar with already. And then there's Overwatch, whereas No Man's Sky doesn't have a parallel, so it's, I mean, my interest is still there and then I'm very curious about it. But if it hadn't been revealed so long ago and we hadn't like seen pieces of it rolled out through their marketing campaign, then I probably wouldn't have the idea that I think the game's probably
Yeah.
going to be boring.
Yeah,
So
and I
it's like
guess-
kind of split.
Yeah, and I mean, people still are stoked for it. Like any videos we put up on it, multiple IGN firsts have done incredibly well.
Yeah.
Just because people also, there's still so many question marks around it.
Exactly.
Like, what is this game?
Because we don't understand what it is yet.
Yeah.
Isn't there supposed to be something awesome in the center of the universe?
They said something. Yeah, when you get to the center of the universe, there's something
Something
amazing.
cool.
Yeah, my prediction was that it's just going to be our solar system.
That'd be pretty cool.
So you'd be
What
able
if
to-
it's just like a really embarrassingly out of date meme?
Dat boy?
Like it's like no, I mean the older like it's like
Dat girl?
cat. I'm a kitty cat and a dance and a dance.
I don't know what that is.
It's the Numa Numa guy.
Oh, remember that? Jeez.
You just get there and it plays that file.
You're just like what? Why?
Why did you
Something
do
special.
Maybe that's why they delayed the game, because they wanted to update the memes.
It's the center of the yeah, so I don't know. I really want to be excited about that, but I'm completely just like, I'll believe it when I play it. you know?
Yeah, exactly. My attitude towards delays is generally, yay, make it better. So, except in the case of Mighty Number 9.
Yeah.
But for this, it's like, if it needs a delay that will make the game better, or if there was a bug that we would have had to deal with, if it weren't delayed, then I'm totally happy for games to be.
Yeah. Also, like, I've never hit a point in my adult life where I'm like, I have nothing to consume right now. It's like, nope, I have way too many games and movies and TV shows and books.
And maybe there's not that much coming out in August, so it'll be fine.
Yeah. The Last Guardian is a game about a boy and
Speaking
a
of
big
delays.
dog bird.
It's a bird dog, not a
Bird
dog
dog.
bird.
A big old doggy bird.
Trico.
Bird and a dog. Cam played the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, we have a go check out his piece and his videos. It's part of IGN First this month. But yeah, he played the opening 45 minutes, and a lot of it was sort of based on the stuff we've seen at E3 and at previous reveals. But a couple things I found super interesting was that
You get a car.
You get a car, yeah, and the car's name is Henry, and it talks.
It's a
strange
it's a
accent.
BMW Z3.
That's not a real car.
Yeah, it is.
3 Z's?
Yeah.
Is it sleepy?
It's a very sleepy car.
But the whole game is framed around you are the main character as an old man recounting the story of when you were a child and met the bird dog. And so there's sort of
That's
this
awesome.
narration where you're talking about it. And it begins with you wake up in this chamber and Trico is chained to the ground, like the chain's going into this well, which was like the first imagery they showed from the game like 9 years ago. But one of the things I found super interesting is like obviously it seems like he's chained there because he's prisoned.
Yeah, it is a giant abomination. I think it would make sense to tie it up a little bit.
But what's scary?
Calm down.
What I thought was spooky was that you get this
It's
mirror
really
shield
nice.
that you could sort of like you point it and it fires off sort of a marker at a thing. And the first time you do that, Trico shoots like lightning out of his tail and destroys a wall. And so I'm like, oh, this thing was probably
Maybe
actually put
that's
there
why
because
he
he's a
was chained
weapon.
up. Yeah.
What if Trico kills you at the end of the game?
Why would you be narrating it if you're dead?
That's a good point.
What about film noir?
So
Don't silence the voices
in a
of
serious
ghosts.
bit of commentary, is the narration is it in English? Like, is it? Do we know? Is
I
it?
mean, I imagine if it's anything like the other games, it's in a fictional language with subtitles. That's how
it's
Eco
a real,
and Shadow work.
real
Yeah.
big corner to cut for localization. You
Yeah.
just-
That's true.
Just make up a little language.
Yep.
yeah,
And that's why, because he yells bird dog too.
Bird dog.
Yeah.
yeah.
Seriously, isn't Bird Dog's name Trico?
Yes.
Because it was originally Project Trico, right?
Yeah.
And then it was The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
So I'm not... Okay, just making sure I'm not making that up. I also
No,
like
you're
that it
not
has Ico in it.
Yeah. And Shadow of the Colossus was originally called Nico. And it
Really?
was going to be a multiplayer game where 4 people, it was almost like Monster Hunter, where 4 people are taking down Colossi,
Wow.
which would have been really cool.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd still play that.
Yeah. And so Sony still, they still say this game is on track for 2016, which is exciting because all signs are pointing towards Horizon being delayed till next year. So that's sort of like,
Yeah.
there is no big,
That's not a surprise at all.
no, totally not.
Because we really haven't seen much of Horizon at all. Like, we've just seen that same kind of
That
instance
single
from
demo,
different...
yeah.
God, that game looks good.
Yeah, it looks awesome. And so, I mean, I'm sure that'll be it will definitely be at E3 because it's already, that billboard's already on the side of,
Have you heard anything about Wild lately?
no, since there was that demo at, was it Paris Games Week? Yeah, I haven't seen anything since then. I mean, that game, the game should be out this year.
I mean, it looked really good when I saw it at Paris Games
There's a
Week,
big
so-
naked snake woman. Remember that?
Wild?
Big
It's coming out
naked
this
snake
year,
one.
really? You
I don't know. Like that was announced.
That
Like,
game's pretty
Wasn't that
ambitious.
PSX that they were showing that off?
no, they showed it
don't
at
think
Paris
so.
Games Week,
Okay.
Last
but it
year,
was
yeah.
fully revealed like a year before that.
Yeah.
like it was revealed at a Gamescom I was at, which was like 2014. I think.
Yeah, I feel that's a
Yeah.
ways off. It seems like one of those things is kind of, I don't know. I just get
Yeah.
that vibe from it. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
I
seem
do
like
too,
it's,
kind of.
Also, it's
Yeah.
Michel Ancel, and he makes games very slowly, and meticulously.
They're
But-
huge games, and they got big naked snake women in them.
yeah, I thought the snakes
That
were the
snake has some
penises,
big
though.
honkers.
Are there girl snakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest
They're
problem
called,
with that game,
they're
I
called
think...
lizards.
All lizards are girls.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with that game, I think, with Wild, is that it doesn't have any narrative. It's like, what is compelling you to go and round up all these
You make
animals?
up your own
How do you?
narrative. It's
Wait,
like
how do you
Metal
know
Gear
it
Solid
doesn't have
5.
any- Have they said it
No
doesn't have any
story. You
narrative?
just you
Well,
to fight these
kind
men.
of.
in a-
Have they said that?
Yeah.
Oh.
They said that at Paris Games Week. It was like what's the story going to be? And I think that they probably gave me a loose answer that was along the lines of, we want to just focus on the players.
What
They,
accent?
they,
No, I think
they
that's- I think
literally
that's
said that
awesome.
they weren't going to have...
Story.
I love
Yeah.
that because I kind of hate when games shove story down your
But
throat
then
when
why?
playing them.
I don't
They're
know, like
interactive.
Minecraft.
Like you're
Minecraft
making
doesn't
your
have
own
a story.
story. Yeah. Like
Yeah,
Overwatch doesn't have a story.
I
So
guess.
my favorite
With
stuff
that
growing up
kind of
was
game, it just feels different.
like originally Lego didn't have stories. Like they weren't tied to franchises. They were just like,
So you
"Hey,
made your own story,
Here's
sure."
some pirates. Here's a spaceman, and you use your imagination. And that's kind of been noticeably pretty absent from games because
Yeah.
they've always become like they're like, yeah, but then I mean, I love I love playing like Far Cry because it's like the stuff that happens in between. Like you've got a loose kind of framework to play in, but it's as far as it being like it's almost generic
Yeah.
enough that you can be like, eh.
Like Far Cry 3 and 4, aside from Voss and who's the other bad guy? Who's the bad guy in 4?
Pagan Min.
Pagan Min. Like aside from those dudes who like are super memorable and have really great performances, like I don't really remember the story of either. of them.
Yeah.
I remember hating the main dude in 3.
Jason Brody and all of his great friends who
I just
are all
remember
really likable.
I just
Yeah, they're
remember
real
wanting
dumb.
really bad things to happen to him and his family.
All my favorite parts of those games are the stuff that happens between the cutscenes
Yeah.
and the dialogue.
Like,
I
those are
know,
the stories
I
where you come in
totally
the
agree
morning.
with
Yeah.
that, but I think I just like having... I'm going to go do this, but I know that marker's over there. I don't have anything to do. Let's go do the marker. Oh, I'm going to go do this now. Like, it's like having some kind of loose structure gets me through something where, like in Minecraft, I am like, I'm going to build this, and then I'm going to build this thing on the side of it, and like I just set goals and keep setting goals.
Sure.
But for a game like Wild, it's like,
We can
okay, so
write
now
you
I
a-
have all the animals.
We can write you a big list of goals if you want.
Well, what
Now
if,
what?
how about what if you don't know what the animals are? You know, this is one thing that I do find really appealing about FromSoft games is the fact that they don't like beat you over the head with like an opening cutscene being like, and here's what I mean, do they? They don't really.
I mean,
do
they
that.
have like just a weird,
like a little blurb.
archaic cinematic. Yeah,
Doesn't
but
make any sense.
No,
And then suddenly you're just like, oh man, obviously I fight the skeletons because they're not trying to sell me anything. And
Yeah.
this is a video game, so you know
Aw.
either the skeletons
Poor
are going to sell you
skeletons.
stuff or they're going
there's,
to
gonna
kill
fight
you.
you.
yeah, there's two types of people in the world: those who try to sell you things and those you murder.
There
Are these
merchants,
skeletons or
people
skeletons?
to murder.
Yeah. Sellingtons.
Skeletons.
really good.
But no, like I kind of
Sure,
love
in
the
an
idea
RPG,
of
they either give you a quest or you kill them.
like I love a game that's just a sandbox where you're like, yeah, you get animal wizard powers. How you get them, that's kind of up to you.
Yeah.
Like look at, I mean,
But then
look
what do
at-
you do with them?
You make love to the big, large snake woman.
How do you? How
Oh,
can
it's
you?
a sex simulator?
Probably.
Oh.
I don't know.
Most games
Maybe you
are.
gotta like unlock a bunch of weird stuff to get. Maybe it's like
I think like I totally agree in that I'm happy to make my own narrative. Like that's how I play The Sims.
Yeah.
But just from what I've seen of Wild being played, it just seems very absent. But
okay.
it's also been a very
we also
early
haven't
build.
seen we haven't seen anything from it really. So
I mean, I have.
okay. But I mean,
But-
it looks like it. They showed us that demo where there's like it's like Far Cry but with owls
Yes.
or more owls, like more than the last one.
Yeah, we had like a behind closed doors gameplay session, and it just, it just really wasn't very much to do. And we're asking a lot of questions, and they were like, yeah, I mean, you can possess this thing if you want. There's a lot of mountains. Did you see that we have cliff edges?
Edges?
How do you feel about snakes?
I feel strongly.
I have a lot of different feelings about snakes.
Yeah.
Mixed?
How do you feel about Yoda's snake?
That's cool. We have
That's
snakes.
a question to ask Brian, really.
Yeah. Brian's
Yoda snake?
Yeah, Yoda has a snake that he's made. He's made love on.
We have to talk about this so much here. It's really infuriating.
He's made love inside of it.
Hey, look who decided to show up.
Andrew, we're
what
talking.
up?
Hey, it's the No Man's Sky
We're
of
talking about
podcast
Yoda's
guests.
snake?
I thought
talking
you were
about
going to
Yoda-
be delayed until August.
We're talking
Have a
about
seat.
Yoda's snake. Do you have any opinions on Yoda?
Andrew Goldfarb has
that's
entered the
because you were late.
podcasting room
You were
for those of you
supposed to sit
listening
on
to
that,
just
yeah.
the audio.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody.
We run a tight ship here.
That's not the mic. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
How's it going? We were talking about Wild.
Yes.
Oh, like the Reese Witherspoon movie with the boots?
Yeah. Yeah, about the heroin addict who goes on a very long walk.
Is that what that's about?
I think so.
Yeah, there's a lot of product placement in that movie.
Weird.
I'm excited for Wild.
Alana's not because she's a jerk and hates French people.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why.
That's what I got
it.
from.
That's it.
That's what I got from your
I
accent.
hate French people. No, I'm actually going
Like
to
if Far
Montreal
Cry,
this
if Far
weekend.
Cry Primal had no story, I would love that game so much more. Because this man kept trying to make me drink
I
out
mean,
of
it
a
is
bowl.
Wild is so similar to Far Cry Primal that it's concerning.
Yeah.
Like they were like, we have this idea, and Ubisoft were like, yoink, and then they're like, we don't exclusively have this idea.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the Patrice Désilets caveman game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Cavemen are coming back.
Yeah.
We're bringing it back.
Wait,
it's a
isn't that-
blast from the past,
Isn't
if
that,
you
isn't that
will.
what's Wild? Isn't that what Wild is?
No, there's
No.
the
Wait,
one that's
what?
called like
Wild's Michel Ancel.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
You're thinking of the other French dude who
Yeah.
made a cool Ubisoft.
All
I
right.
forget what his game is called. The trailer
It's
for that one
called
was really
Mankind something,
Yes.
where it's like an
Yeah, it's a
episodic
long
game
name.
on the evolution of man. Like you
Yeah.
start as a caveman and you probably
But
become
isn't
like a
that-
businessman
isn't
or
that-
something.
It's year something. It's based. The name is a year.
I don't know.
You're
Look it
thinking
up.
of 1666,
I am. You're right.
which is the game. Yeah,
Also
Which is
another
also
Ubisoft
Patrice
man.
yeah, which is
that's the right guy.
yeah. It's the same
same
person.
guy.
Yeah, that was the one where I started talking about Dutch Masters, and everyone got mad at me because I was talking about.
Well, because
Art and stuff.
no, when you say Dutch Masters, it makes me think of a sex thing.
It's called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey.
This
That
is-
makes me think of a
There
sex
you
thing
go.
too.
Hey guys, it's been a second
Little.
since we talked about tactical military gun stuff, and I get real bored if that doesn't happen. So Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon got a new trailer, and that game looks really, really fun. And I don't really usually give a darn about those Tom Clancy games. The Tom Clancy verse has been kind of a thing that is. I like those Harrison Ford movies.
Bro, you didn't like Rainbow Six?
I think Rainbow Six has one of the most colorful, fun-sounding names, and is like one of the most like. There's nothing rainbow about those guys. They should get like cool wizard powers.
I like how
Are
you
they
were
pretty
expecting
rainbow?
Magnificent Seven, but with 6 guys wearing rainbow clothes.
Rainbow Six sounds like Power
Hey,
Rangers.
Magnificent Seven,
Yeah.
the fabulous. Seven.
I
mean,
love Rainbow Six Vegas.
Rainbow
And
is
I
the
think-
most. The title is the most cheerful thing, the most
No.
interesting thing about this.
Rainbow Six Vegas is incredible.
Great,
Yes.
right?
Vegas 1 and 2, and they're like super
Absolutely.
colorful, and you just blow
And
apart
it's weird
slot
because
machines.
they were the shooter for so long. Like
Yeah.
I feel like
They're
Call of
really
Duty
good.
kind of took that crown away from them. But
Yeah.
like for a little bit there, Rainbow Six was like the go-to shooter
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, I think it's really bizarre that I mean, obviously you've got Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six. They're
Siege is a very good game,
I-
but
I-
it's not necessarily what a lot of people wanted.
people want like.
I mean, they
that's-
wanted Patriots. I think they wanted
It's-
like a big
Yes.
story.
They
Right,
wanted
it's
Patriots.
tactical, but it's considering it's got the branding of a famous author on it. I feel like there's not typically an emphasis on story. It's more about like tactical approach to things.
Yeah, I'm
You know,
still
you-
waiting for the Tom Clancy edition.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be a thing eventually where they're just like Tom Clancy, the video game. Maybe it'll be like you're just a cool writer boy.
You just got to write a whole novel.
It's a
just write
Sound
it all.
Wake.
Yeah, so that's
Well, you definitely don't want that.
I don't want that at all.
So that said, Ghost Recon Wildlands looks more like 4-player third-person Far Cry than.
Yeah, it looks like Far Cry with fewer story restraints, honestly. It looks like you can just kind of do whatever. Like, I mean, we haven't really seen that much gameplay. Hopefully we will at
Yeah.
E3. But, like,
Yeah.
to me, it looks like it's basically, like, all outposts if you want it to be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it very much like every mission, they were like, it can be tackled like 30 different ways. So you
Yeah.
can take this post like under the cover of night or wait for a storm to
The
pass by.
thing
That's
I
awesome.
want to wait and see though is does the Tom Clancy name mean this is going to be like very like
Serious.
unforgiving, like get it
Yeah.
right or you're dead kind of thing, or is
Yeah.
it going to be like kind of Far Cry where if maybe you're getting shot a lot, you can go hide in a bush and set everything on fire and then run away and stab the thing and break your own thumb to
Unleash
help
a
yourself.
tiger
So-
on some people.
The Tom Clancy brand is so all over the place. Like, I always forget the Division is a Tom Clancy
Yeah.
game because
Yeah.
it's not. Like, I don't think it really means anything, honestly. It's just like tactical military stuff.
Yeah.
That's Tom
What was
Clancy
the,
on
what
it.
was the one
But,
game that was all voice command? Hawks? No. End War? Tom
Hawks
Clancy's
was
End
one of
War?
them.
No, Hawks was like a vehicle game, but there was
And
End
the
War,
one
which
that
was a
you and I-
strategy game that was
Yeah.
all voice command based.
yeah, we played that at an event. We played a game like that at something.
No, you were thinking
That's
of,
the one where I got real sweaty. It's the Ubisoft event where I just could not stop sweating, and we went in the
I've
back
heard that
corner.
story.
That was a really good
good
event.
story.
Really weird. Yeah, really weird.
It's a good story.
It's a really good story. You just
Okay.
sweat so much.
It's really not that good. of a
Why'd you
story.
get so sweaty?
I don't know.
It remains a mystery. No, we were standing still in an air
Did you have
conditioned
a-
room.
did you have a
Was it the
fever or
voice
something?
command?
I just got very nervous about all those voice commands. I got the vapors.
Got the vapors.
So I watched the trailer like just before walking in here, and don't really know what it is. Based on that trailer, I'm like, I don't really know what this game is.
What do you mean?
I mean, it just had a lot of explosions and.
It looks like Far Cry Outpost, but it's the Devil's Cartel.
I mean, there's definitely gonna be a whole lot of drugs, which is also some of my favorite parts of Far Cry.
Yeah.
The drug
And
trip
you
stuff.
just-
And
you have to
the
go in
first
that-
trailer for it was all coke and blood.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
What?
Yeah.
Like the last year E3 trailer for
Oh.
it was just a bunch of
cocaine and
bloody
blood.
coke
It's,
and
it's
cokey
my
blood.
favorite-
It's
Ska
set in
band.
Bolivia, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Because it's. I was thinking it was going to be Mexico because I don't know. I don't know if that's racist or
Did
just.
you do a racist?
Was that racist? I don't know.
Maybe.
I guess. Well, no. They're frequently like
I see.
when you talk about cartels. I feel like it's often like the. Kind of border watch stuff, like people
El
smuggling.
Chapo?
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but like. Bolivia is interesting because you get much more of a variety and like climate. You
Yeah.
get like they've shown off they've screens where you're in like an Arctic spot and there's like deserts and there's jungles and like that's really fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little bit of a Phantom Pain vibe from this, which is kind of weird to say because I
100%.
drew so
Yeah,
heavily
no,
from.
I see that.
But I mean, like, I really want this to be awesome. I'm just super wary. Like, I hope that it lets you have fun
Yeah.
rather than just be.
Yeah, Tom Clancy games definitely do have a habit of taking themselves very seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
Excepting maybe some of the original Splinter Cell.
yeah, we were talking about that before. Like, Ryan was like, "No, the original games were super funny." I'm like, I don't know.
I wouldn't call them funny, but I think they had a little bit more.
You know, what would be a
I
sick
think they
game
had
would
jokes
be
in them.
R.L. Stein's Ghost Recon.
I could definitely get behind R.L. Stein's Ghost Recon.
We were watching the Jack Black Goosebumps a little bit in a bar last night, and that movie was very strange.
Yeah.
Is it funny?
I mean, like,
He plays R.L. Stein.
yeah, it was on mute with subtitles, but it was just really weird. It was like we kept looking up, and there were stranger things attacking them. So first there was a big white werewolf, and then it was a scary marionette man, and then it was
Oh yeah, Night of the Living
different
Dummy.
werewolf. Yeah,
Monster Blood. Say
yeah.
cheese and die.
Oh my god, I haven't thought about
Trouble.
those books in a very long time.
Deep Trouble 2.
Evidently, Max thought about them
Deep
recently.
Trouble 3.
Okay, that just sounds gross.
Yeah. They kind of were like pornos.
The Deep
and
Trouble
then-
3 are my favorite spin-off of
Monster
the Rainbow
House.
Six.
Is it Welcome to Dead House? Is that it?
Trouble.
Wait, Monster House was the movie that Dan Harmon wrote.
No, I wasn't thinking of that then.
Oh.
I was thinking Welcome to Dead House.
I don't know what we're talking about anymore.
We're talking
but,
about Goosebumps. Did you guys not have Goosebumps?
Yeah,
Hey, speaking of Coke and blood, what about blood and wine?
It was actually really good.
Oh yeah, hey, that was a good one.
Max, are you stoked for this?
Yeah, let's get down for the awesome CD Projekt Red flavor challenge. We're gonna blindfold you guys and see if you can tell the difference between the taste of blood and the taste of wine. Not really. That's Witcher DLC that's coming out.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
Comes out this week, and it's insane because it is massive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the map is like the same size as the
As like a-
original map.
It's
almost.
yeah, it's
totally
huge.
not fair that they're calling this DLC. This should be considered an expansion pack.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, that's correct.
And even like you look and like visually, it looks so distinct. Like it almost looks like Alice in Wonderland with like really bright, vibrant colors and like weird flora and fauna.
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah.
It looks very fairy tale heavy. Like obviously, like
Yeah.
that seems like it seems like they're doing less the. Like the Wild Hunt was kind of like dark, war-torn fantasy country, but this seems more like, oh, you are the weird woodsman, which is kind of Geralt's role. There is it's cool. I actually just watched the teaser for Beauty and the Beast, and
Yeah.
way more interested in that than I should be.
It's a pretty good looking teaser.
Yeah.
Did you know it's like shot for shot the teaser of the original?
Oh, really?
One? Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's
really?
cool.
Yeah, I saw this
That
like
is
side by
cool.
side. I'm like, oh, that's rad.
That's
Nice.
really cool.
But anyway, like I realize it sounds like we're going off topic for all you people who want to talk about Geralt stabbing stuff. The short stories, the Last Wish, the first kind of collection of Witcher book stories, it has one that is like basically Beauty and the Beast. It doesn't tell you that. It's
Yeah.
just sort of like an awkward retelling of it in the same way that
That's
you know
really cool.
you would basically you encounter like
Is Geralt the Beast or the Beauty?
he's neither. You meet the Beast basically. And he's talking about his like marital problems because he keeps having ladies come live with him, and he's like, oh, "I'm a monster. What do I do?" You know. But I really kind of hope it does more of that sort of things. Like I really like the parts in Witcher 3 that were like, oh, maybe you've got to go talk to the old witch, or like you got to save a goat or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just stuff
That feels like fairy tales, like Hansel and Gretel.
And it might still get gruesome, and you still kill something with a sword, but like
That's like every grim fairy tale.
Yeah, no, I absolutely understand that.
Yeah.
I love The Witcher 3. That's the game that gave me tendinitis, which is why I have to wear a wrist brace.
I feel like you shouldn't love it.
I loved it so much that it gave me wrist problems from repetitive.
You only hurt the ones you love, and they only hurt you back.
That's just you, Andrew. That's not normal, but I very rarely get into single-player DLC. I did a lot with Fallout 3, but pretty rarely do because in my head I'm always like, but why would I continue to play this game despite how much I loved it when I could play something else?
Yeah.
But this one I might actually go and play.
Yeah,
like
so
it looks distinct enough that it looks like an experience that is different. Basically.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk about that. Like, like this is being reviewed super well, and like this Witcher DLC is incredible. Like, what are the other? You said Fallout 3, but like, what are the major DLCs that you've like actually gotten into and are like, oh man, this is amazing?
I mean, the big two for me are Lair of the Shadow Broker from Mass Effect 2 and Minerva's
Larry
Den
the
from
Shadow Broker.
Lair of the Shadow Broker
Lair
from
of
Mass
Croft?
Effect. I believe that's what it's called. I could be wrong, but for Mass Effect 2,
Yeah.
and then the Minerva's Den for Bioshock 2. Or
Yeah,
to me, those are
Minerva's
like
Den.
the
Yeah, mine would be Burial at Sea from Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
also
Fallout
really good.
3 for sure. I loved all
I mean,
of
that's
that DLC.
Burial at Sea, especially Part 2, and Minerva's Den are my two favorite Bioshock things. Like more so than the games proper.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
me too, totally. I
Yeah. 'Cause
way
they're so much
prefer
tighter.
Burial at Sea than Bioshock Infinite, like
Yeah.
by a mile.
Although Minerva's Den is really long.
I didn't play
Yeah.
Minerva's Den.
It's
It's
incredible.
awesome.
I mean, it's also like it's that team went on to make Gone Home.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I think the thing about those is that Bioshock has just a lot of shooting that's just padding. It's like filler episodes in anime. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff that's like, we need to drag out this game and make it longer, so they just make you shoot a lot. And those, like Burial at Sea, basically has the same story and the same impact, but with less padding. So it's a lot shorter, and maybe you wouldn't have wanted to pay full price for it, but it's like just a compact version of that one thing.
Yeah, there's like
which
an
is
art and a
awesome.
brevity.
Yeah, so I think that has appeal. It also looked very different because obviously it's in a different place. Fallout's appeal was partly that, again, took you to a different place with one of those DLCs, but it also let you continue playing the game.
Yeah, and it let you see other parts of because you got to see like Pittsburgh and that. I mean, it was like a simulation, I guess, but kind of Anchorage, and you could see like different parts of the world.
Anchorage honestly felt like a parody of Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
It felt like
it was like a Pleasantville kind of thing
demo
too.
that for Modern Warfare 2 where you're doing like some Arctic mission or whatever, and it totally felt like there was that kind of Pleasantville aspect where you're like, but it totally stripped away so many of the things that make Fallout. Like, there was just like the same kind of set of guns, and you're like, oh yeah, go shoot the guy, and you're like, I mean, who plays Fallout for the shooting, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It's weird how many
Vats.
of those DLCs take away your stuff. New Vegas kind of did that too, like that first one where you're wearing like the choke collar or whatever when you go too far. Like, it's really interesting having you spend 300 hours in a game, getting an inventory, getting everything you want, and making your character and getting to max level, and then in the DLCs you just like don't use that character for some of them. I always find that really interesting.
Yeah.
I really like this is a lame answer, but I really like the Skyrim DLC for Hearthfire, where you got a house and an orphan.
Oh, dude, I love that kind of stuff.
You get a house and an
Dude, I
orphan.
totally
You get
love
an
that
orphan.
kind of stuff. Yeah,
you go
you can get
catch
an
an
orphan.
orphan. You go down to the city, and you just like lure a child back to your home. That
sounds horrible.
And then they hang out in your house, and you can just shout at the walls and knock over all your crap.
I feel like this is worse when you're like laughing.
This stupid little kid who came to live in your log cabin is just like, he's just like, Daddy, you're home, and you're like, there's just like cups, like, wooden bowls flying all over the place. You try to set the kid on fire, and they're just like, what are you doing?
I'm so down with building related DLC.
Yeah.
So down with that.
What if every game had DLC where you could get a house and steal a child?
It's not the child stealing part, it's the house building.
Is it?
What's the point of building a house if you're not going to steal a child to put in there?
A house isn't a home without a stolen child.
I'm a dragonborn. I'm sterile, damn it. I won't
think I
be able to
should leave.
conceive normally. I thought it was pretty funny because I probably looked like a real like progressive like I was an Argonian, so so I'm like walking around with my human child, and I'm like, all right, Billy, it's time for your soccer game. Like, Dad, am I adopted? No, you're just bad at breathing underwater, like your pops here. I like that there was that Skyrim DLC that was like that spooky island. They were like, oh, go back
Far
to
Harbor?
Far
Oh
Harbor.
no, Shivering Isle.
No, that was
What's
for
Far Harbor then?
that was
No,
for-
Far Harbor is the Fallout DLC that just came out.
You're right, yes.
Yeah.
Shivering Isles was
Yeah, that was
Oblivion or Morrowind?
Oblivion, I think.
Oblivion,
Wasn't
yeah.
there a Skyrim DLC that took you to a part of Morrowind?
Yeah, I think that you were
That was one of the
revisiting. Yeah,
first
that was
ones?
it. Yeah, and it was like they hyped it up as being like, "Oh, you're finally gonna get to ride some dragons,"
Yeah,
and you
it's
did.
like
It
a cutscene or
sucked.
whatever. Yeah.
That was rude.
It was super lame.
Dragonborn.
You kept fighting. Yeah, that was pretty cool because you
Yeah.
got to go in the mushroom houses.
Yes,
and
it was pretty.
I like that. And then there were all these big floating men who looked like Cthulhu's.
Oh yeah, I
They were
remember those
pretty
dudes.
fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time with that, I guess.
Left Behind is also a good DLC.
That is a very good DLC.
Yeah.
Left Behind is an awesome DLC. So I guess
And what is that?
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us, yeah.
Oh yeah. I was thinking like those.
Oh, the Kirk Cameron novels. Yeah.
But there's also like DLC that I really don't care about is all of the Arkham DLC. It's like play as this character.
Most of it kind of sucks, and
Probably
it's
not
always
gonna do
exciting
that.
where it's like, oh, Robin, oh, Batgirl, and you're like, oh, this is terrible.
Like
No
I
one
just
does this.
don't care. In the
And there was
slightest.
like, I was sort of excited by like, there was the Arkham Knight DLC where you drive through almost like the set of Batman '89 and Batman Returns. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I'm like, it's just a driving
It's just the
mission.
driving
Yeah.
part.
Yeah,
Driving is the last thing I
that
was
game does not need more driving.
Like the term DLC is so stupid because at this point entire games are DLC.
Sure.
Like they are it doesn't apply anymore. And then you have something like Blood and Wine, which is this entire new map. It's a full extra half a game pretty much.
Yeah, I think you're right in saying it's an expansion.
And then at the same time like horse armor or I don't know, that thing that makes your gun pink in
Or anything in Dota.
Call of Duty,
You know,
yeah.
anything in Dota that's cosmetic.
Yeah, like cosmetic
All of
garbage.
Overwatch. Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
it's just like it's totally deceptive. Like I was really excited about the idea of playing like Arkham Knight with like Batman Returns or old school.
The
like,
skins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
those
that
are
would,
really
that
cool.
would make me like that
And like,
game
I mean,
more.
they're nice pre-order bonuses, which did come with all of the Arkham games, but
Yeah.
that's still not what I want out of DLC.
Yeah, but
I
they're
think
like,
there was
here's-
one that was a story one that I played where you played as like Harley Quinn or something.
Yeah, there was the Harley Quinn stuff for.
City, I think.
There's
Yeah.
Catwoman stuff for
Catwoman
City.
yeah. Which
You're
was
right.
like, wasn't that like a pre-order?
It was,
or like
yeah, if you pre-ordered, you could do that
It was like-
mission
it
as
was a
Catwoman.
per order.
You might be right, though. I think there was Harley Quinn stuff
Per-order.
later.
Aw.
Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
nice
they had a
cat
bunch
to
of different stuff, but that's the kind of DLC that I don't care about.
Arkham Knight did Harley Quinn DLC.
Right.
That was a prequel. And then Arkham
Oh, look at
City
that. The
did have
first
some
result is
stuff.
Arkham Knight's Harley Quinn DLC is terrible. Thank you, Kotaku.
Play it.
Yeah, there have been some good ones. I mean, obviously, full disclosure, I worked there, but I played it way before I did. Borderlands 2 had incredible DLC for months and months and months.
Yeah.
The Tiny Tina DLC, super smart. You're playing like a Dungeons and Dragons game where the characters are narrating, and as they're narrating, the world around you changes. So
That
it's
is
like they're
pretty
telling
cool.
the story as you go. Like that was really cool.
That might actually make me like Borderlands. I don't like Borderlands. Sorry,
You
Andrew.
should play it. It's okay.
But maybe that DLC would make me like Borderlands.
That DLC is really smart. I would love to see them. It almost reminded me of what Tales did later, because it's like sort of that unreliable narrator thing.
That's cool.
Did you play Tales from Borderlands?
No.
You should play that.
Yes, I've
I
heard
didn't-
that's very,
yeah,
very good.
I didn't like Borderlands, and I think that's amazing.
I really
I
like
find
them.
Borderlands very boring.
Boring.
Yeah, that's why they
lands?
call it that.
Boring lands?
Then they put out Battle Boring.
It's just battle one.
Oh, Andrew.
I'm sorry.
People are like, you just have to play it with a friend, and then I played it with. There are some people that you play games with who can't talk whilst playing games. So I played it with someone who was incapable of talking. So it was just like us sitting there and shooting things and looting. Like, this isn't really making.
Played it with
Yeah,
mute.
I played with somebody who was like who'd played it like a million times, and they were like, "Here, I'll go take care of everything." And I was just like walking along, be like, eh.
Yeah, I hate
They'd
it.
just
Like
be like, "Here, I got you these guns." Like,
that's not. I think for any game like that, like that's why I didn't want that for even Bloodborne or Dark Souls or anything. Like I don't want people to come beat bosses for me because that's like not a fun experience.
Yeah.
yeah.
Back to Fallout, and that's like when Fox. If you have Fox as a companion, who just kills everything. You're like, damn it, Fox!
And he gets stuck in a doorway, and you have to reload a save because you
And he
can't get
tells you
around
to
him.
kill yourself. It's all
What?
very dramatic.
How was the Bloodborne DLC? I hadn't played it.
Dunno.
The old Hunters. It was
Yeah.
really good. Yeah. Yeah, that's
Give you a new weapon. It's a mop handle.
Yeah, it's just it's a weird handle of a
just-
mop.
Yes, I
It's
mean-
not even a handle. It's just like the mop
Does the
part.
Just a
Taken
mop
King
head.
count as DLC, or is that an expansion?
We don't like what does that
No.
term mean?
I
We
think
don't
that's.
know.
count.
I would think that's an expansion.
Yeah, but that's as much as
But it's like called a
Blood and
DLC.
Wine.
Yeah.
Sleeping Dogs had,
Oh, that had DLC.
some of the best DLC.
I didn't even know that.
That had an entire one that was all like, what was it, Nightmare in North Point? It's so good because it's basically like Big Trouble in Little China meets Thriller. Like it literally opens up and you're playing as like the main dude and you're like walking out of a movie theater like in the music video for Thriller and you're
That's
like,
awesome.
She's like, that was a pretty scary movie, and then you fight like hopping Chinese
That's awesome.
vampires,
Yeah. Wow.
and then you have to go on this mission where they're like you go like you see like old salty crab. It's like this gross guy you like break into an old lady's house with in the game, and he's like, "Oh, I'll make you a mystical potion. I'm gonna need the following ingredients," and you have to get like weird like white carrot root or something, and then like antifreeze, and then you have to drink it. And you get like crazy kung fu powers.
That's
It's
incredible.
It's
That's
super
amazing.
fun.
That sounds incredible. Also, that actually just reminded me of one of my favorites, which was Undead Nightmare for Red Dead
no,
Redemption.
yeah, totally.
Which
Yeah.
was obviously incredible.
Yeah, like-
Again,
see-
is that DLC?
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost like a
almost-
yeah, it's like a
almost
standalone
separate
thing.
game,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's totally different.
And it was to what was it, Festival of Blood, the
Oh,
weird
yeah,
Then there
vampire
was
one.
infamous
First Light.
First Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I feel like we should also talk about some of the worst DLC. My vote goes to Saints Row: Get Out of Hell. That's very bad.
Is that that's where like you're in hell,
Yes,
right?
Saints
Yeah.
Row 4, and
Yeah.
you just go to hell, and it's
Yeah.
really bad.
Yeah.
It's very ugly.
But wasn't there one where you play as a superhero? What is that one?
That's Saints Row 4, the game.
oh, that's the full game. Oh, okay.
Saints
Yeah.
Row got so confusing with
Yeah.
DLC and expansions and then full games and all that.
I mean,
stuff.
Get Out of
yeah.
Hell was another thing where you bought it separately, like as a
Didn't
physical.
that start
Yeah.
out as like it was going to be DLC, and then they were like, no, it's a full new game.
I don't know how they
I
marketed
think
it.
that's how they did it. I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was announced. That's what, yeah, you're right. It was announced as a DLC, and then it became Saints Row 4.
But it was. Wait, what?
Yeah, they announced here. Hold on.
What?
Stop
No, Get
Googling
Out of Hell
everything.
is
It doesn't,
five.
it doesn't matter.
Does
Just the
Saints-
people will email
is
us
it
if we're wrong.
5?
Just close your laptop. Get
I
off
mean,
of
Get
there.
Out of Hell
Drive
would
me
in
for-
theory
I'm
be
doing
five.
these
E3
replanning.
planning.
Yes.
There was a
Do it.
Saints
You're
Row
doing
4.
a podcast right now.
But I-
Also, Brian's not here because he's interviewing the Lonely Island.
I bet
Yeah.
he's having a lot of
They
fun.
made a hot rod.
The Lonely Island Man Hot Rod is a very strange sentence, but it's also correct.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds like a sentence you would say in order to like initiate someone's assassination mode. The Lonely Island made a hot rod. They start putting together a sniper rifle.
We
in the
walk
corner.
outside, Destin strangling someone. Like, oops. God,
Do we
yeah.
have the price for Blood and Wine? How much is that?
$174.
That seems like a lie. It's probably under $100.
You can get wine for like $2. The blood's the expensive stuff.
Yeah,
you gotta
blood's
know.
free.
You gotta know
Expensive.
blood.
You
shot.
should, you should donate. Donate blood.
Don't eat blood. Why not? It's delicious.
But really, you should though.
Don't eat blood, he
No,
said.
you should donate.
Yeah.
Don't, not. Anyway,
I keep trying to, but I'm always stepping on nails, and they don't want my blood. They're like, "When's the last time you stepped on nails and went down the creek?" And I say all the time.
On the walk here.
every damn day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good thing. Is a fun prank is go try to donate blood with no shoes on, because they'll be like, "Where are your shoes? Like, can I have cookies, lemonade, please?" PlayStation Plus has got some pretty cool stuff for June. Of course, everyone will scoff at it. You no longer have an excuse not to play Gone Home if you have PlayStation Plus. That is now
Very
one of
excited
the free
about
games
that.
for PS4. So put aside, 3 hours and sit down and play that game if you haven't already. And then, of course, if you want the opposite experience, there's NBA 2K16.
Yeah. That's a strange. Both of them about sexual awakenings.
Yeah. And-
Gone Home's
and
cool to play.
Slam dunks.
Before Tacoma, whenever that comes out.
Yeah. And NBA 2K16 makes sense because the NBA Finals.
Oh,
start.
yeah, that's a good point too.
So someone on Tumblr referred to Gone Home as a lesbian fetch quest. I'm very entertained by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lesbian Labyrinth, man. PS3 is getting Silent Blood Curse. Is that a word?
Siren.
Siren Blood Curse. Sorry.
And Echo Curse.
And Echo. Did I write this? I might be. I don't know. I might have.
You got
I
cursed.
think you might have confused.
So these are two games. I don't know what these games are about. I might have fallen asleep halfway through writing this.
And
Not even a
then for
complete
Vita,
sentence.
Little Deviants and God of War, Chains of Olympus.
Yeah.
Chains of Olympus works. Like, it's a good little portable spinoff. It's great for planes. Little Deviants was that Vita
Playing
launch
games?
title. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, big shutdown after it. Little Deviants it very much feels like a launch title, but I mean, for free. You
That
can
was
do
the one
all
where you
those.
could like take a picture of your face and then like punch yourself in the face as like a robot or something.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
We got some hot questions from the Rapid Fire.
Rapid Fire. That's where every week we go in the
Fire.
Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/podcastbeyond.
Or on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/IGNBeyond.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Christian Casares is all of a sudden. Get to it. It's okay.
I didn't want you to ask that one first. It's fine.
Okay. I'll get to it.
Good.
If all of a sudden someone from the office had to become your dad, who would you choose? My money is on Jared being the popular choice.
Before I read that, I was like, Jared.
Yeah, pretty much.
Steve
Pear.
would also be
Yeah,
great.
Pear.
Pear would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pear's really cool. Really
Also,
cool guy.
honestly, Brian would be pretty good because he would just spoil you and buy you a bunch of toys and feed you good food.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, he would.
You would
No,
come
he
home
totally
crying and he
would.
would be like, "Yeah, so what? Want to fight about it? Big whoop."
But then he'd use his pizza stone and make me pizza,
Exactly.
Maybe.
And buy you like 90 Star Wars figures.
can't
and we
him
could
as
just
a
drink
dad.
vodka sodas all night.
He
That's
would. He
true.
would. No, I feel like Brian is going to be like a. He's gonna shape up so fast the second he has
Yeah.
kids. He's gonna,
Yeah.
he's gonna be very-
Yeah, I think Steve out EIC is like kind of already a dad just to everyone, so he'd be a pretty good dad.
Yeah.
Jared also. Yes.
Yeah, Jared's a good answer.
Who
I
do you think would be
Pear's-
the worst dad?
You.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'd be a pretty bad dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on account of you're a
Yeah.
woman.
Yes.
A woman can't be a good father.
That's. Anyway, let's just avoid
I was
that.
raised by a single mother. I know these things. What? I did.
We're right
I was.
past that minefield.
Yeah. No, that's actually a good question. Who'd be the worst? Who'd be the worst dad here? I'm just trying not to say anybody who actually has kids because that would be mean.
I mean, honestly, probably the four of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Probably.
bet you'd be a good dad. You're
Yeah,
sort
I
of a
think
dad already
you
to
would
the people
totally
in
be
your
a good
house.
dad.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. Yeah.
I don't, I'm thinking of the people that we find asleep at the office,
Yeah.
which
That's
is Vince and Sean.
Vince would be a
And
good. Vince would be a
you.
good uncle.
You sleep all the time.
Yeah, but not during work hours. My sleep is like after 5 p.m. I have a nap, and then I get up.
You've definitely napped during work hours.
No, I haven't.
You've crawled under your desk. And
Not during work hours. It's
All
always
right.
after.
Fair enough. Danny
Except that one time I
Hernandez
was waiting in
says
here.
best couch multiplayer game that isn't GoldenEye 64.
GoldenEye 64.
yes.
Perfect Dark is better though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
There's
Couch
no world where it's better.
Objectively.
Couch multiplayer meaning like competitive,
Like
or
split screen, I
split
assume?
screen, I
Like
guess?
couch co-op?
Yeah. I feel like the N64, that era, is sort of the one I think of.
Or Halo 2 is kind of my go-to.
I was
Yeah.
playing Halo 2 couch co-op on the weekend, and that was the best thing ever. I mean, yeah, I also want to say Gears of War, but I feel bad for listing.
Talking
Xbox
couch.
games.
Again, are we
Okay,
talking
yeah.
co-op? We feel like we talked about co-op before, but like competitive, like local competitive.
Yeah, which
like,
is another
Rocket
thing that's
League.
that's another thing that's we've talked about that, how it's had this resurgence lately with
Yeah.
Nidhogg and Towerfall and
Oh, Nidhogg
yeah.
and Towerfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of those.
Nintendo's always been really
and-
good.
as far as
Yeah.
good ass multiplayer games, Jackbox Party Pack is phenomenal.
Always really
That is super
good.
fun.
Also,
Yeah.
like one of those things that I remember, like I was getting like a buddy of mine was the PR guy for that. And he was like, "We're doing a press event. Come play this game." I was like, I don't want to do that. I really don't. He's like, "Please." I was like, "I really don't want it." And then I wound up playing the game. I was like, "This game's really good."
Yeah.
I really
Also,
played a lot.
It's a weird one. I think people make fun of it, but I was actually just talking about this on Twitter. Nintendo Land, the Wii
I
U
love
launch
Nintendo
title,
Land.
is actually really good for local co-op.
Yeah,
I played that
or
with my
competitive.
parents, and that was just the best. Like, they all totally got it, and it was awesome. I played it with my mom and my
man,
sister.
that Pac-Man game for GameCube, the one that had the
Oh yeah,
yeah, the
God,
one that had the
which one is
GBA
that?
ones.
Also, Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Real good ones.
Very good couch
All right.
co-op.
The official Uncle Bobo channel. Also, question: can we post rapid fire questions here in the comments? I'm
Yeah, I
guessing
feel
that
like
was a
you-
YouTube channel.
Yeah. I feel like you probably should have read these before.
I probably should have. Somebody
So,
should have probably written what the hell that's going on here. Dang it.
The official Uncle Bobo channel asks, we can post rapid fire questions here in the comments, and the answer is yes. You can post rapid fire questions on the comment sections of the YouTube channel, and we will also add those.
Fun fact.
Aside from the Facebook.
We have a
group.
dedicated Podcast Beyond YouTube channel, which
Yes.
is youtube.com/IGN
Beyond.
Beyond.
Yeah.
Wow. Go check it out. Go subscribe to that. Even if you don't like, I
think we just hit
even if you like
12,000.
never check your subscriptions, just get on that Google Plus and go click that little button.
That's a weird thing to
Do it.
If you want.
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Fine.
And then finally, we got a great question from definitely not Alana Pierce. Hey guys, how was your weekend?
Good.
Sorry. Hey guys, how was your weekend? Did you
God.
get up to anything relevant to the Beyond audience?
I say
wanted
audience?
to, I don't even know what this word is. Also want to talk about X-Men a little. Oh, wait, this is a PlayStation podcast. We can't talk about things like X-Men Apocalypse.
I mean, why
in
don't we just
theaters
answer
now?
the first question? Some of you guys went to Kind of Funny Life.
We did. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really fun.
got a ton of
It was crazy impressive. That was really cool. It was a cool show. God, I really respect those guys for putting that show on, considering they're that small of a team.
Cisco came out and sang the Pokemon theme
I'm
song.
That's
really,
incredible.
really sorry I couldn't make it. Partially because I would have loved to see people who listen to the show and everything. That would have been really fun. But also because I have Unleashed the Dragon on vinyl and I want to get Cisco to sign it really badly. So
He was bummed that he wasn't able to come to the office because he was only here for like
He flew
was
straight
bummed?
from Vegas.
yeah.
like the thing you put a thong on. Yes,
Yeah, we did it.
This is what guys talk about right here.
Yeah.
PlayStation games.
But
Yeah. I went to Fanime, which is also really cool. Had some Beyond listeners come up at my set on Saturday night, which is awesome. I also played the Pokemon theme song. Take that, Cisco.
Yeah, did you write the thong
That
song?
happened. I did not write the thong song.
I don't even know if Cisco did. He might have had help on that one.
That's a very good point. Yeah, also
I should
saw
know. I should read the
X-Men.
liner notes on Unleash the Dragon. You saw X-Men. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, we saw
Yeah, saw X-Men. I know the two of you also saw X-Men.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
I will not be seeing that film.
Yeah.
I'm
bad.
gonna say right here, like 80s X-Men is like one of my favorite things. Period. Like that predates my love of Star Wars. I grew
That
up
theme
reading.
song, man.
Yeah, no, that's 90s X-Men. That's the cartoon show.
You're right.
Yes, 80s X-Men. I'm talking like
Then I
Chris,
don't know what
Chris
80s
Claremont,
X-Men is.
like the comics, like the
Oh.
the.
When you opened the comics, they played that theme song.
Yeah,
It's like a
it was
greeting card.
horrifying. It was like Harry Potter. All the pictures moved around. I had brain damage as a kid. No, but like 80s X-Men is
I mean, I've read a lot of X-Men, but I don't think I've read old X-Men.
I've read a lot. I've read a lot of the really early stuff, and basically what happens is there's like the original team, the so-called First Class that they did not use in the movie, which was like a bunch of white kids and his Beast and Angel and Jean Grey and Cyclops and Iceman, and then in 1975 they basically were like, oh man, sales are down, let's shake things up a bit. So they went from being like, oh, it's a bunch of rich white kids in upstate New York to like, let's make this crazy multicultural Burger King Kids Club adventure team, because the regular team gets captured by a living island, and so Xavier has to go around the world and get like Colossus and Storm and Nightcrawler and Wolverine and Banshee and Sunfire, and they're like this ragtag group, and like Wolverine's just a dick. He's just really mean.
He is a huge dick. Bub.
I think he calls Sunfire
thing
a
that he
Jap.
says.
You're like, oh my god.
Wolverine.
Yeah, and then eventually, like gradually,
Oh.
they go up against the Hellfire Club, and Wolverine becomes like more of like a regular character. Sunfire gets really mad and leaves. He does not like hanging out at all. Banshee's like, I'm too old for this stuff. And but you get to like the mid '80s, and it's really cool because like Storm loses her powers, and she winds up like shaving her head and getting a mohawk. She has this weird fling with Forge because he invented the thing that takes away her powers. She has
That's
to.
a weird reason to date someone.
Yeah, it's this crazy
Very
like Vision
concerned about
Quest.
her
It's
now.
awesome like Barry Windsor Smith artwork. It's just some of my favorite writing. There's a
I mean, X-Men is also just has always been awesome to me because it puts the whole idea of being an outcast.
yeah, exactly.
A group of people.
I mean,
and
it's a-
how they're treated, and I
Yeah.
mean, there's a lot of parallels, and I think it makes it relatable to pretty much everyone.
You kind of see
Cable
it
is still my
with
favorite character.
with like Spider-Man to a certain degree, where there's that sense of
totally,
being like,
absolutely. Spider-Man is
that's
just
me.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get the Avengers, which are pretty squeaky clean, and they occasionally dabble in being like not
I
accepted.
mean, they're
or
just like
whatever.
a bunch of hot people.
But like, yeah,
who have like superpowers.
Yeah.
Whereas X-Men are like, some of them also even just deal with like being disfigured as a result of being X-Men, and that's. I think a lot of it's really relatable. This movie didn't tap in on any of that.
Yeah.
I guess it
Yeah.
did a tiny bit.
No, the movie's
was-
dumb.
No,
and
it
Did a
awful.
little bit in a Jean
Anything
Grey
it, like the
sense.
the rare moments where it hits any of that is stuff that previous movies
yeah.
Did
already
anyway.
established, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of taking
Yeah.
like.
What I'm really baffled by, like I haven't seen the film. I know they wind up back at Alkali Lake.
Yeah.
The place that they go in X-Men 2. Again, why go back to that same spot again? Just why keep revisiting that
I mean,
stuff?
they went to Auschwitz,
yeah.
Why go there?
Yeah. That's pretty weird.
Yep.
But then like the fact that
Vaguely, weirdly makes sense in context, but
they're
it's still dumb.
They're with Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is, I don't know if he gets his memory wiped or whatever, but the fact that they're again recycling. They just need to reboot this franchise. Like they sort of pretend
Also,
they
they need to
did
give it
that.
to someone who's not Brian Singer.
Yeah.
They need
I
to give it
think
to someone
that's-
who
yeah.
is a good
I feel like
director.
the script was just very bad. I think that Batman vs Superman is worse than this. But the script is just intolerably awful and cheesy. There's like this dumb line where Jennifer Lawrence is like, "You got your warship," referring to a like jet.
Yeah.
"You got your warplane. Let's go to war." Like, shut up, idiot. Just leave.
And
Like,
also, it took like some of this generation's greatest actors and make them all look
Made
like
them
complete
embarrassing.
dicks.
Yeah.
Also, like I walk by, billboards, and they've got a picture of Apocalypse strangling Mystique, and they're like X-Men Apocalypse, and I'm like, okay, you took the two biggest actors, you took Oscar Isaac and Jennifer Lawrence, and you had them play characters who are doing stuff that really don't have anything to do with those characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mystique is she plays a big role in the comics, but like she's not like they totally did weird different stuff with her in the movie, and that's fine.
Yeah,
like,
I always try not to
adaptation's a
think
thing,
about them
but
that way.
I just hate it because they've got this massive wealth of content to go back on and to refer to, and they just keep screwing it up. Like
Look,
they
I
keep
think
changing stuff for the sake of changing it.
The
like
thing
there's-
with that is no director gets praise for exactly replicating the fiction that someone else wrote.
Zack Snyder is a visionary director because he made 300 and Watchmen, and he stuck it real close to those panels in those books.
Until he didn't.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
But I try not to go into comic book movies. Like, I would have been super disappointed if I expected Civil War to be exactly the same.
No,
as
totally.
Civil War,
Yeah.
that
But I
I
mean,
love,
They
but-
use the names just for the name value
what
at this
sucks
point.
is
Like, it's
also
not.
they're having it set in the 80s. It doesn't look like it's set in the 80s. They don't do anything with that.
Yeah.
But they did a little with like clothing and.
A little.
They did the
Like,
bare
that's one of
minimum.
my
At it.
hugest pet peeves is period pieces, especially with modern stuff where there's tons of like if you screw up the collars in a Victorian period piece, okay, maybe people aren't going to grab it. But stuff in the 1980s and you've got like they're not really they can't even just make it look sort of believable.
You made a Star Wars reference.
Yeah, that also really that really pissed me off. Apparently they talk shit on Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You go read 80s X-Men comics and they're super like they'll go to space and they'll be like, holy crap, is George Lucas behind this stuff? And you're like, oh, that's cute. They're making nods to that. And like the fact that like at the time Marvel was publishing like Star Wars comics too, it was cute. Like
I really think the Return of the Jedi thing was just a cute self-referential joke.
I think so.
I
too.
really think
I didn't have any
Brian took
problem
it
with
super
it.
personally. I
Yeah.
don't think it was meant to be that.
I really didn't
It's
have a
really
problem
just
with that.
poking fun at X3. That's all they're doing. They're making fun of the third movie in a trilogy.
Yeah, but this is also the third movie in the new trilogy.
trilogy.
And it's
Oh, yeah.
by far the worst.
hey, so you know how when like your friend makes fun of you and says something kind of mean, it's sort of funny and it's good natured.
But if a stranger does that,
Like that
if it's-
happens
exactly.
to us all the time.
Yeah,
People
pretty
think
much.
we're mean to each other, but we're really just
Yeah,
friends.
I don't know. I will watch this movie on a plane or maybe on Netflix.
I mean,
or
I
something.
wouldn't
like-
watch it.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
just
fast
awfully
forward.
written, but I definitely don't think that is one of the
just
worst
wanna
parts of the
see
movie. And there was some
Nightcrawler.
stuff that were good. They used Quicksilver in a really cool way at one point.
I'm hoping that this does it's doing well, and I would almost rather have seen it not do well. So it was like the Fantastic Four thing, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, like we need to change this because
Yeah.
I think that's what X-Men has become. Like this is now with spin-offs the 9th X-Men movie, right? Because there was the 2 Wolverine movies,
It's-
Deadpool, and then 6 core movies.
Yeah.
Still clinging to stuff from the previous.
Yeah, like they
Yeah.
just need to let go. I
Just
don't know.
reboot it.
Yeah, I wish
Also,
they
like-
would.
also
And they
just
had the
let-
cast
just
reboot
let
it.
Marvel and Disney
I watched-
have
Yeah,
control
just-
over these
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
I watched Deadpool again this weekend, and
That's
that-
a good movie.
I'm so happy they got that right
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Deadpool's always been my favorite, and the fact that they have Colossus in there being like totally Colossus,
Yeah.
like being like,
I'm so excited about the next one having Cable.
Yep.
Yeah.
So excited about that.
I hope that
my
Cable
boy.
is a boring douche.
He's meant to be.
Yeah,
That's
he's
the
a straight
Cable,
man.
Yeah, he's Max Payne, like you cosplayed us today.
It's not Max Payne. What are you talking
He's
about?
super Max Payne-y.
No.
Super
Just a
Max
whingy
Payne 64.
douchebag.
No. What?
Whingy?
Yeah.
What's
Not-
whingy?
Again, not a word.
Whiny?
Whingy. It's Benji's weird brother.
Oh, whingy. We got to wrap up because
Yeah.
the esports boys are going to yell at us.
Those esports boys always knocking on our door. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. I'm sorry my voice is rusty and this is a weird show. It's very hot in here. They still haven't fixed
It's
that
very hot
plywood.
in here.
Awful time.
Always.
If you'd like to find us on Twitter, that's a place where we sometimes do things. I'm Max Scoville on there. Alana, you are Charlanazard.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out how to spell that on your own or just type in stuff until it comes up. I don't know. Marty is
Stop pointing at them.
McBiggity's
Stop
with
it.
2
Stop
G's
that.
and 2
Don't do that.
T's.
Don't put it away. Everyone,
Oh.
stop clicking.
Don't say put it away on an audio.
Put it away.
Why?
And
What?
Andrew Goldfarb is Garfep. And Brian Altano is going to be interviewing The Lonely Island on this week's Up at Noon, so you might want to tune in for that. That
Also,
should be
please
cool.
call out an app. You can find
Oh,
us
yeah.
on the PS4 app.
Great news to all you fine folks out there using the iOS, PS4, Xbox operating systems. We got a fresh new app for all those
Why
things.
do you sound like George W. Bush?
Is that what George W. Bush sounds like?
Now, Martin, I want to have you sit down right here. I'm real good at picking out nicknames.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Me and my boys down at
We
the
really
ranch,
need to leave.
we had Scooter, Dougler,
Thanks, everybody.
Just leave him while
Jimmy
he's-
J, and Carl Rove. We were down there throwing around the old pigskin. We thought we should give Marty a nickname.
Beyond.
I don't like the
Beyond.
fact that it's
Beyond,
called
everybody.
pigskin. I think that's
Greets.
weird.
Yeah.